Well, we've got lots to talk
my
about
goodness.
here, Connor. Well, it's playoff hockey. Playoff hockey has showed up. We've said it before, but it's a different game out there when playoffs hit.
Entirely different. I don't think there's been a single stoppage to play without a scrum after the whistle.
Yeah, pretty much, right? There's been a lot of aggression out there. And, and unfortunately, Nolan Dillingham, he'll be out for this game for sure.
Yeah,
And,
questionable decision, I think. I would be shocked if the league didn't take a closer look at that one.
yeah, what are you thinking?
It's part of the game. It's just whatever. It's just it happened, but I think it was a bad play. I think they maybe being a little too aggressive and caught him there. Maybe a choice that he didn't have to make, but whatever. That's all right.
They're
Get caught up in the moment.
They're calling it head contact, right?
It definitely was a little bit of head contact.
Yeah, okay. Well, and this is the second time, really, that Nolan Dillingham has come in this kind of I guess, a controversy hit. It was a few games before the playoffs. There was a big hit out there as well. And I don't think, Dillingham's really not the guy that goes out. He doesn't play like that.
No, I don't think so at all. It's just he's going to make the hit, and it was just one of those plays where it was a lapse of judgment, I think, and hopefully we get him back for the next one. But
yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. I don't know about that. No.
There's been a lot of calls out there or not calls out there that I think the fans are a little irritated right now.
I wonder how much of that is contributing to plays like that, because there's been some brutal missed calls, I think.
You're not happy with the refs?
It's lackluster. It definitely is. And the fans are making it hurt. It's hard to disagree.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, you're a fan. You're allowed to have an opinion.
Oh, that's right.
It's really all about keeping your head straight on there. When all these things start happening out there, you've really got to stay focused on the prize, which is getting those goals in. And we've seen two beautiful goals out there. We're tied 2 apiece right now, but they are out shooting us, Connor.
Oh, yeah, big time. I think we're doing not a great job of clearing traffic in front of Benny. I think he's having a hard time seeing the puck.
I did see at one point, like one of the referees was really having quite a conversation with Benny there after one of the plays. And I don't know, it seemed encouraging. He kind of gave him a little pat there too, like hang in there.
Right.
I mean, if I was a referee, I don't know. I wouldn't be going, hang in there, you're doing great. No, I'm not there to encourage you.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's not
so
their
who
part of
knows
the
what
game.
that conversation was about. We may find out later. But Benny did seem a little frustrated on that second goal. Was it the second goal?
Yeah, the second one.
And he's kind of throwing his arms out, like pointing around, like the guy was there. Like, I don't know.
There's traffic everywhere, and you got to clear. Dillingham would have cleared that traffic for sure.
Well, there's the thing. I think we're safe to say we're going to miss Dillingham out there.
100%. Yeah, he's a big factor. And I hope he's not gone too long.
So how do we step up? Now, who's got to kind of step in his role now? Like somebody as the captain, he's been the guy that's getting in there and taking care of the fights and everything. Who's going to step in his place?
Ever since he showed up, I think Del Mastro's done a great job of being like a second leader. He'd always seems to be the second guy in, talking to the refs, and Burke's out there too every time. So as long as they step up a little bit, and then we get a little more help from the defense, I think it should be okay.
Yeah, Max Nemesnikov, of course, formerly of the Sarnia Sting.
What a goal!
Get a goal in there, right?
And a beautiful goal.
It really
too.
was a nice goal.
Oh my goodness, 1-on-4 or something. I don't know what happened there.
And he's not a big guy, right?
He's very small.
He's a tiny guy out there, and he holds his weight very well. I remember, when he was still playing with us, Jay Peckham and I would often talk. I really liked Max Nemesnikov. Jay was more like, he could do better. And I was like, yeah, wait for it. We waited a long time. Then they traded him, and then he shows up.
And now, yeah, maybe that's all it is sometimes, to change the scenery. I don't think he was getting the ample opportunities on the Sting as he is on the Guelph team, obviously.
They definitely
first-line minutes. And
yeah, he's certainly playing out there and playing well. So good for Max Nemesnikov. But now things have really changed out there. I mean, okay, we talked about the refs. Obviously the fans are not happy out there. I think Guelph's seen a little bit of frustration too, because I think to be fair, on the other side, there was probably a couple of calls that the refs didn't call, like not in Guelph's favor.
I think it's definitely going both ways a little bit. I'm sure they were probably frustrated with that hit too. I'm sure that had a little factor.
I'm sure. Do you think we'll see more of this out there in the second
No, I don't
period?
think it's going to stop. I think it's going to ramp up.
It's this playoff hockey,
That's
right?
right. It's only up from here.
Yeah. I was really kind of surprised that the one the one, actually the second goal. I kind of thought they might have done a review on that. Were you kind of thinking of that too? Or?
I thought so, but then, I think it was more of our own fault that they just didn't clear the traffic. I don't think anybody really bumped into Ben, but
yeah,
it's all open to interpretation, I guess.
Yeah, for sure, always. So what do you think the Sarnia Sting's got to do differently now coming out in the second period that maybe were they lacking a little bit there in the first period? Because Guelph really responded quickly both times.
Yeah, I think we expected that, right? Like I said, they were going to come out strong, and they did. But they did it. I think they do it a lot more clean than they did last game. They're not throwing themselves out there as much. They're keeping back a little bit and not throwing everything away.
Are we missing Limpar Lance out there tonight?
I think so. I think so for sure.
Does that create, is that like a synergy thing?
I wonder if
certain
it does.
Players not there.
It's just like a little bit of tilts the scales if they feel a little weird with them not in the room. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you get used to somebody being there, and then all of a sudden they're not. He's gone, and now all of a sudden Dillingham's gone now too, and who knows for how long. But it definitely makes a difference out there, right? But still game 2, right? And a ways to go yet here in this series.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of hockey to be played out there, and it is what we call it game on, like 100%. You're back-to-back playing. The difference in playoff hockey, too, I think a little bit, and Connor, is you're playing the same team back-to-back to back-to-back. It's not like you play them, you go play another team. That must make a big difference.
I think there's a lot of human nature to that. If someone gives you a little shove one night and doesn't give you enough time to forget about it in 2 days. You're waking up at noon on Sunday going, oh, well, I'm going after that guy again.
Well, and especially, when you're young,
Oh, yes. Yes. The emotions they're up there.
Definitely a lot different than, when you get older.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It's easy for us to say, I'm watching from the top there, and I'll tell you, when you're up in the media booth, typically we don't react. We're sort of we're just kind of there,
right.
Doing our thing. There's a couple times I caught myself where, and I'm looking at the Lee Cunningham. I'm like, And speaking of Lee Cunningham, Pat DeRoche, if you want to follow the play-by-play along there at home and you don't have Cogeco, you can listen to them live on CHOK, and it's also available online as well. And, of course, watch it live on your TV with Cogeco as well. Now, we're going to be back here again after the second period, of course. Like I said, right now, tied 2 apiece. I think, I always like to ask this question. What did you think of the pace? Was it a fast pace?
It was incredibly fast.
Should it be?
I think it was reserved, but it was still fast. It's I wouldn't say ping pong, but it's back and forth a lot.
Yeah.
There's no stagnant in a zone.
Okay. Do you think there's something to be said for slowing down a little bit?
I think it helped a lot in the first game. If that's what we're going to do to succeed, I think you have to do that this game. You got to settle down, I think. This team gets under their skin, I think, a lot.
Yeah, we don't want to see that happen because when we do let them get under our skins, we don't react very well, I think.
Take an undisciplined penalty.
Yeah. So let's keep it going out there. Connor will be back with me one more time for the second period, the end of the second period, hopefully with some positive news in favor of the Sarnia Sting. And, of course, we'll also be a live post-game press conference in the restaurant here. You never know who's going to show up. This is going to be post-game press conference in playoff hockey gets much more interesting.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell you that. So
they have a lot more to say, eh?
There's just more to talk about.
That's right.
All right, we'll be back at the end of the second period. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, live from the concourse with the Sarnia Sting. I'm David Burrows. This is my friend Connor Burke. 1, 2, 3. Go Sting, go!